Our top story tonight, the Chatham County Sheriff's Office has a 24-year-old man on charges of attempted kidnapping and stalking. Authorities say they received 16 separate complaints about the suspect, and now some of his alleged victims are coming forward. WSAV's Isabella Baez spoke with one woman who says she was targeted just last year.
That's right, Tina. Fearing for their lives, that's how two women I spoke with described their encounter with Nathaniel Crawford. They say both of them say it started as a friendship until things took a turn. The two also want to remain anonymous for safety reasons.
It got so horrible to the point where I didn't lost sleep. I cannot sleep.
I couldn't sleep. I was terrified. I was terrified he was going to come back and snatch me.
Both women recall their separate run-ins with Nathaniel Crawford, both saying in the beginning everything seemed normal. That was until he tried to push them into engaging in sexual activities, and both of them said no.
He came to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he told me to come outside to chill with him, and I was like, no, I'm going to go to bed. He started kicking my front door in for like 10 minutes. He stopped, he left, and he came back, and he broke my room window, bust my room window.
The second woman met Crawford when they were kids, but when she came back to Savannah, she says she never expected him to act the way he did.
He done put out threats against me, saying he was going to kill me if I didn't do this and do that. He showed up unannounced, would not leave. I was literally like telling him, yo, you got to leave. Like, you can't be here. He would not leave. He sat outside the door, banging on the door, trying to get in.
Both women say they felt relief when they saw that Crawford was arrested, but shocked by how many other victims have similar stories to theirs.
I was surprised because I didn't realize that it was so many victims that, had an experience with him. I thought I was the only person.
Like, I feel bad for all the victims because that's terrifying. He was a crazy person.
CCSO says Crawford will be taken into custody again today on charges of terroristic threats and related criminal acts. Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Thank you, Isabella. New details tonight about the background check process at a local preschool and what state records reveal about oversight inside the classroom. This comes as a former employee now faces serious federal charges out of state, raising questions about safeguards meant to protect children. WSAV's Danielle Cobb takes a closer look.
Sea Island Sprouts Preschool remains open today just 2 weeks after an employee was arrested on sexual exploitation of a minor charges. We now know he's facing a federal charge in Iowa and was being investigated on similar accusations in Colorado. The question is, how did he get a job here with those allegations hanging over his head? WSAV obtained records that showed Sea Island Sprouts Preschool may have not done proper background checks into employees upon hiring. That's what they originally told WSAV on the day of Baker's arrest. But Department of Social Services records showed the school had not completed FBI or SLED background checks on 3 employees. They also had 1 employee who had not received proper state and national sex offender registry checks. Records show the school had resolved those issues with DSS in October. Attorney Jared Newman says it's important to note that background checks only show if someone has been convicted of a crime, but registry checks should flag open investigations and prior arrest in the system.
If DSS does an investigation, they can find probable cause that abuse or neglect happened, even though the law enforcement might not have enough evidence to go forward. Then your name is put in the registry, and there is a mechanism under due process. You can have a hearing as to that, and the government has to prove that you need to be in the registry.
Now, I did ask the school if the owner or administrator wanted to speak with WSAV about the DSS reports from last year. They told me they would not participate in interviews, nor would they be discussing any past reports or internal processes. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
New at 6, Chatham County Police issuing an alert for gun owners after a spike in firearm thefts from vehicles. Police say 6 guns have been stolen from cars in just the last 10 days in unincorporated Chatham County, mainly out of unlocked cars. And most of the thefts happened on the west side of the county, though police stress that no neighborhood is immune. Every driveway and a parking lot is a potential target. Police are urging gun owners not to leave firearms in unattended vehicles, saying stolen guns often end up connected to violent crimes. If you see suspicious activity in your neighborhood, you are asked to call police right away. A serious incident unfolding today at Thomas Hayward Academy in Ridgeland. Police say 2 students are facing charges after a gun was brought to campus. Ridgeland police were called to Thomas Hayward Academy around 2:30 this afternoon after a student brought a gun to school. The student let a friend borrow the weapon, and authorities say that friend began showing it off, even pointing it at another student. That student quickly alerted faculty, who immediately contacted police officers. They arrived, confiscating the gun, and interviewed the student involved. 2 juveniles have now been arrested and will be taken to Columbia to face charges through the Department of Juvenile Justice. Savannah police asking for the public's help identifying a person of interest connected to a robbery. We want you to take a good look at these photos now. SPD says that investigators want to speak with this man about a robbery that happened on Savannah's east side last November. If you know who this person is, call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020. In a consumer alert now, Chatham County Police warning the public about scams involving Bitcoin. Police say Bitcoin is a common tool used by scammers, especially in cases where victims are pressured to act quickly. Scammers often claim the situation is urgent, sometimes telling victims they must go to a Bitcoin machine right away. Their advice is simple. Never give money account numbers or personal information to someone you don't know or didn't contact first. If you think you've been targeted by a scam, police urge you to report it as soon as possible. A major step toward government consolidation is now underway in Evans County. County commissioners unanimously voted to move forward with the consolidation process during a January meeting, citing rising costs and potential tax relief for residents. County Commissioner Casey Burkhalter presented a detailed consolidation report outlining how combining county and municipal services could reduce costs and lower the millage rate. Commissioners acknowledged the consolidation would not be simple. Some elected and appointed positions would be eliminated, with current office holders required to reapply for newly created roles. Ultimately, that decision would go before voters in a county-wide referendum. If approved, consolidation would reshape how Evans County and its cities operate, with leaders saying the goal is long-term financial stability and tax relief. Well, after months of legal battles, Chatham County commissioners met in an executive session today to discuss their ongoing dispute with Chatham Area Transit. That meeting lasted over an hour, during which commissioners reviewed the current status of the litigation involving CAT and discussed next steps in the process. A new concern raised by Chairman Chester Ellis involves the ferry system. Despite the county purchasing 2 new ferries and spending millions, the system hasn't been operational. Ellis says this is a key issue cited in the lawsuit and another reason the county is scrutinizing a CAT and how taxpayer dollars are spent.
It is your county's responsibility, all right, for public transportation, and we take it serious, okay? Our legislative body made an unconstitutional act that put us in the position that we're in now. But we still stand forward to making sure that we return public transportation back to the pre-COVID era.
The CAT board will hold their own meeting Monday. WSAV will continue following the lawsuit and provide updates as it moves through the courts. In the Lowcountry, a proposed data center in Colleton County has drawn attention of state lawmakers, and they are putting their foot down. The Colleton County Legislative Delegation is urging county leaders to take a stand against a proposed massive data center. Lawmakers released a resolution calling on Colleton County Council to oppose the project, even though the county approved a zoning ordinance in November that allows for its construction. Well, community members packed recent meetings to speak out against the development, raising concerns about its impact on the area. State Senator Margie Bright Matthews, one of the lawmakers who signed the resolution, says the fight is about protecting Colleton County's natural beauty and its deep historical roots.
Sacrifice your most precious resources, the people who live in that area, the quality of life, the water, the air, the energy that they need to use. When you could locate in another area, you don't do things like that.
Some landowners in the area have filed lawsuit asking a judge to overturn the ordinance and prevent the county from using it to approve the project.